Hi, this is our midweek devotion, and I wanted to jump on and give us something really practical this week, something that is going to help us to do a lot of things. We've done this before, we've done this a couple of times before, but the most recent time that we've done this is from January 2018, I think. We did it at Holy Week. And if you weren't around for that, don't panic, don't worry, we're going to explain it again. But if you were, then I really want to encourage you to re-engage with this idea. The idea is 4 questions. And we're going to go through those 4 questions, and we're going to talk really quickly about why they are the 4 questions that they are, and how I think that they help us to follow Jesus and to look out for each other and be engaged and involved. But the written piece that comes with this video maybe is going to help some of us to connect with the idea a little bit more. And feel free to ask each other. This isn't something that is limited to just this moment. This is something that I would encourage us to do way beyond and into the future of how we do all of the things that we do. I just thought I'd pop down to the beach because it's restful for me, and it's nice to be down here, and it's a beautiful day, so it makes some sense to be down here. But that's also going to be helpful for how we think about these 4 questions going forward. You're going to need to find some space that works for you. You're going to need some time that works for you, and for some that's going to be a situation like this. You're going to need to be outside, you need to be away from the distractions of some other things in life. For others, you're going to need to be maybe up early, you're going to need to go for a walk, or you're going to need to find somewhere inside that you want to be. All of that is absolutely fine. All of that is good. But the point is that you make some time and you make some space to go through these 4 questions. So what are these 4 questions? I have this little book. You don't have to have a dramatic book. You can keep them on your phone, you can keep them in your head if you're capable of doing that. But I find that this is really helpful for me, because then I can write down my response to the questions. And so what are these 4 questions? Question 1, today I am. Question 1, today I am. I want to get a hold of how I am feeling. Feelings are feedback, and so they are helpful for us to engage with, and it is useful for us to consistently record and keep a record of how we are feeling. Not because we trade exclusively on how we feel, but as I said, there is some feedback in how we feel, and so it gives us opportunities to celebrate things that are consistently going well, but it also presents an opportunity for us to get a hold of thoughts that are perhaps not of God, from God, or for God, and then gives us an opportunity to change some of their influence on the way that we process the world and others around us. So today I am, and we're going to fill that in. So you might be happy, you might be full of joy, you might be not having the greatest day ever. You can put one word in there, you can write a paragraph in there. This is just between you and God. So today I am, and get that done. Question 2, today I have read. That's specifically pertaining to what you have read from the Bible. That's not a test, again, that's not to exclude or to frustrate if you are not familiar with reading the Bible regularly, but that is the point of the question, to enthuse you, to give you a prompt or a nudge or an encouragement to do that regularly. So at the start, the middle, or the end of your day, wherever you choose to go through this process, that you have a reminder, hey, I have an opportunity to connect with God through His Word. That's not a test, that's not something that is hidden or shrouded in mystery from me, but the more I read it, the more I'm going to hear God's voice, and the more encouraged I'm going to be through it. If you want to do that with other people, fantastic, that's great. If you want to commit to a reading plan, brilliant, helpful. I was speaking to my son Noah the other day. He's still kind of in that Bible bingo phase, so every day he'll just kind of drop open out a page and find something to read. I wouldn't recommend that as a method, but if that's what gets you there, if that's what helps, sometimes if that's what starts the conversation, then any and all of that is great. We've referenced in the written piece, but again, just to kind of double down on that, if you're not reading the Bible regularly and you are struggling for somewhere to start, I'd recommend that you start in the Gospel of John in the New Testament. And if you're feeling that you have the capacity to look from somewhere from the New and from the Old, then pick up Psalms 2. But if you don't feel that you can read both at the same time, then either start in the Gospel of John or start with the book of Psalms, and that will kind of lead you in a really positive way to reading Scripture on a regular basis. So question 1, today I am. Question 2, today I have read. Question 3, today God has said. And that's going to look different for everybody. You might hear the audible voice of God. That's great. If you don't, that's not a disqualifier. That's not you off the list. That's not God cross with you. You don't have to do anything or be anything or go anywhere to hear the audible voice of God. God might speak to you in other ways. They are absolutely as valid, but the language that we use for that to communicate all of those multiple different ways is to hear God. Again, you're not any less than if you do hear the audible voice of God. If you do hear the audible voice of God, that's great, and we want to share that with people too. But most people do not hear the audible voice of God, and God speaks to us in ways that are multiple. The God of creation will not be limited to one method of communication. So have yourself in a position where you're ready to receive from God is the point of that you're giving God your undivided, undiluted attention, and then expect to hear from him in a way that he connects with you. Again, if you are new to that as an idea, ask somebody for help. Ask somebody what that could look like. Spend some time with somebody learning some of those patterns. But that's question 3 today, God has said. And then question 4 today, I have helped. And I'm just keeping a record of who I have helped, how I have helped them. That's not for my own sake. That's not to be full of pride or to show off, but it's really helpful to be aware of what God has given me in terms of what I can then give away. It's helpful to be reminded that we live to bless other people. That's why we're here. And so our goal is not to hoard and to keep and to kind of build fences around the things that we have, but our time, our talent, and our treasure is given to us to be given away for others to meet and to know Jesus. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that pads out some of these ideas around 4 questions. Again, it's going to be worth your while to engage with the written piece, to think about some of that, and let's share with each other how we're getting on. We've called for at least 7 days to give this a try. I would encourage you to keep going. My book goes back a couple of years before when we started in 2018. And some really helpful things for me to re-engage with in here that God has said and God has done and God has taught and shown me. And so it's a really helpful process. If you can commit to doing that, it's going to be really helpful for us in how we make disciples, include, invite, and bless people. I hope you're well. Have a good week, and we'll see you for a prayer drive on Sunday. See you soon.